What about Bill Goldberg? What was he like?
Bill was cool as hell. He used to come down to the school. He used to train. He actually, when I made it to school, he just got out of the power plant, but he would come down every now and then. Plus, the new school we got was like the show-off school, so they would have people from Japan come in. Of course, Bill would come in, or we have people come in, invest in money, and Bill would come down to the school. He would get in the ring and work with us and do things, and then, just talking to him in the ring, like, I did a move, I can't remember it, to save my life. Huh. And he looked at me and said, "Where'd you get that from?" I said, "Oh, I studied tapes from Japan." He started laughing. He's like, "Oh, me too." He said, "You probably got it from this tape because that's where I saw it, And it was just, we hit it off right then and there. And I was like, "Oh, I got a martial arts background." And he's like, "Oh, man, why don't you do more kicks?" I was like, "No, I want to save it. I want to wrestle first. I'll just do a few kicks and then, I'll explode and show him I can really do martial arts." But I just come to find out he was just in the right place at the right time with the right look. And that's how he got where he was. But a lot of people say he was arrogant and cocky, but...
You never saw it?
I never saw it.
What about Konnan? How was he with you guys?
Konnan was cool as hell. The first time I met him was at Saturday taping, and we all went up to him, and remember, this is Saturday, so we just starting to make it on TV, and, we just would go say hi and walk away. But we went up to Konnan, we all shook his hand, he sat and talked with us for about an hour. And he was just telling us, about the business and things we should look out for. He was telling us we need to stick together. You got to find out who your friends are. Certain people will talk about you. Certain people want, they won't. He was saying, we should have that brotherhood where if we hit somebody in the face and, it was part of our group, it should be okay because we didn't mean it. But the fact that we were all trying to come up together, we all had to watch each other's back. So, and Konnan is the same way to this day. You can get in the ring with him. Something could happen. It can go right. It can go wrong. He will tell you it was good. He will tell you it was bad. Konnan is straight to the point. He don't play around. He either like it or he didn't like it or whatever it is. But Konnan's cool as hell. Konnan is Konnan. He's not going to, color code anything for you. If you suck, he'll tell you you suck. But he'll tell you what you got to work on or what you should work on. And he'll be the first one to tell you, "I don't wrestle like I used to, but this is what you need to do." So it's not like he's saying, "I'm the greatest wrestler in the world," or "I'm the greatest person this." He'll say, "I don't do this that great, but you need to do it. I'm here, you're here. You need to get where I'm at."
Right.
And you either took it the right way or the wrong way.
Buff Bagwell, what was he like?
Buff was okay. But Buff got to a point where he was like something like Luger, but not the same deal. And when I say that, he was having problems, I think, in the office. Something happened. They stopped using him for a while. Then they were using us. So then Buff was kind of, I don't think he was mad at us, but we had something to do with it. So he would come up to you and say, "Hi, I'm Buff Bagwell. It's nice to meet you." But he was being sarcastic. Right. But then we found out that they took him off TV and put us on, and other things happened that we had nothing to do with.
So he was jealous or something?
Yeah, well, not jealous, but I think he was trying to make a point. Right. He was like, and I talked to him about this too, like years later. I'm like, "Buff, why would you treat us that way?" And he said, "You don't understand. When I got into this business, they didn't hand us belts. They didn't, we bust our butts to get them." He said, "Now wrestling has changed so much, whereas you come with a look, you don't even have to know how to wrestle, and all of a sudden they'll just give you the belt."
Right.
And he said that was his gripe with wrestling at the time. He said it was nothing against us. He was just trying to make a point, and sometimes in making his point, he got sent home. But he believed what he believed, and he stuck by it. So, it take a big man to admit, whatever. So I respect him for that. At the time, I didn't understand it, but I understand it now.
What about Ric Flair, the Nature Boy?
Rick was always cool. Rick, he would get in the ring. Like there was a time where Sarge was working with his son, and Rick would get in the ring, and he'd be like, "Hey, come here." And I happen to be the person there. He's like, "I'm going to do this and such." He'd go to hit me. I'd do my deal. He'd be like, "Oh, that's great. You need to be on TV." So that's why I'm here. Right now they got me just doing security around the ring, but, one day I'm going to be in the ring with you. But he was good with us.
What about Scotty Steiner?
Scott Steiner was Scott Steiner. He didn't talk much, and then not just us, but anybody. He would always say hi. He would always shake your hand. He was always a serious person. Once we got to know him and got in the ring with him more, he talked a little bit more, but he never really talked that much. But Scott was always a serious person, and Scott Steiner was Scott Steiner. He was like, I think his attitude was the same way we would train. Wrestling's not ballet, so when you get in the ring, you better be ready because, he's going to bring it.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you could do what you think you're going to do that's going to hurt him. Trust me, he don't feel it.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.